Sisters and Young'un, and welcome back to the F1 podcast. And I am joined by David.
Hello, everyone. I'm afraid no Alan today. He unfortunately is otherwise engaged.
Yeah,
So you've just got us two.
Yep. And it was season opener.
Indeed, it was. Not a lot to talk about, really, is there? Pretty boring.
To be honest, I'm going to start with this, that it did seem very, very hyped up.
Yeah, but that's F1, and this is where this is where I just myself sound really old, but ever since the American owners took over, it has gone that way.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Because they want the big Super Bowl style intros and all that, which to me, there's conflicting views whether that works in F1 or not. That's up for debate of people, but
I mean, so I know obviously we were chatting just quickly before we came on and started this, and it was a case of you didn't catch a lot. I mean,
no, unfortunately, as usual, work. I caught qualifying hands. I thought I caught a bit of practice 3 because I think by the time I got home it had timed that well. But other than that, obviously, I caught the race.
Yeah. And practice was just like, it was a case of the usual, practice being practice. P1.
Well, the thing with practice was we'd seen it all a week before anyway.
Well,
it kind of wasn't that diff. Well, do you know what I mean? 'Cause we'd had
all the testing.
And to me, it kind of wasn't massively different. There was not a lot of...
Well, no, apart from Mercedes currently being on the back foot with their porpoising issues.
Yeah, and yet somehow they managed to fall in a slowly pit and still come out frigging...
Smelling of roses. We will get
into
that.
Is insane.
But it's just like... I mean, even in testing, the result we got for Bahrain, which obviously is Leclerc, Sainz, and then Hamilton.
And to me, that isn't the big story of that, but as you say, we'll get on to...
No, it's not. And it's just like, what the fuck did they do to that Ferrari? Because in practice, it was quick. But they hadn't shown...
They'd said before, didn't they?
Go on.
Thing is, we never get a true answer in pre-season testing because teams aren't always necessarily testing out speed. But it was known early on that Ferrari had almost done what Haas did, and that's one of the points I'm going to come on, is that they'd abandoned development of last year's car early to focus on this one.
Well, yeah.
And to me, that shows to have worked itself an absolute beauty.
Well, the thing is, Ferrari did suffer with the porpoising, but a few of the teams seemed to figure it out, which... Obviously, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren being another one, but yeah.
McLaren.
What the fuck happened to McLaren? Wow.
What happened was them and Haas they've just repainted the Haas cars. They've had a swap.
I mean, so practice was just practice, really, but coming and... So, I mean, you only caught that...
Practice with the one highlight, which was for that session that Kevin Magnussen set the fastest time for.
Yeah.
Which was just wonderful.
It was like...
I mean, trust me, when we're sat here at the end of the season and Magnussen's won the World Championship, don't say I didn't predict it.
And to be honest, I really wouldn't put that past Magnussen. After what we saw in the race, I wouldn't have put it past him. Really wouldn't.
Oh yeah. As I put to you guys on the chat page, just have a look at the Constructors' Championship table right now. It generally looks like someone shoved it in a randomizer because McLaren and Red Bull are at the bottom.
Yeah.
And Haas are currently third, and Alpha are fourth or fifth.
Yeah.
And it's like, what year is this? What?
I mean, what is it? What was it? Oh, that was it. Apart from the practice where Ocon's side pod literally disintegrated.
Yeah, I heard about that. I unfortunately never saw what I'd heard.
Yeah, he was literally just going down the straight, and his side pod just went goodbye.
God, that just makes me think of the old. Remember, was it Sebastian Buemi at Australia when his front brakes just exploded?
Oh, you mean a bit
One of the old icon.
You mean a bit like Gasly's car? Ooh, we'll get onto that one. But yeah, looking at qualifying, it was like Ferrari powered engine. Then it was obviously Red Bull powertrain, as it's been known. And then it was like Ferrari engine, and then Merc. The rest were Mercs.
I say at one point the bottom 6 cars were all Mercedes powered.
Yeah.
That was it. It was Buemi at China. I've just for the fact, he went down the straight and then the bottom straight hit the brakes and the front wheels just fell off.
Yeah.
2010.
But it's just like, what the hell are we seeing? Because to have all the Ferrari powered engines like
doing well.
Were, yeah.
Ferrari, obviously, I mean, we've seen the Ferrari sort of dead years. Yeah. I tried to mix the word Ferrari and Bohemian then, and ended up being right podge. We've seen the Ferrari in the same way we saw the McLaren dead years. Now we thought they were getting back on top of them. Now I don't think there's many people in the F1 world who aren't at least a little bit happy to see the Ferraris do well like that.
The Tifosi will be. The Tifosi definitely will be.
I mean, I'm not a particularly Ferrari fan, but it's nice after they've had all their troubles. To me, it's quite nice to see them performing well.
Oh yeah, well, even me being a Red Bull McLaren fan, it's nice to see.
God. Well, you've been hanging yourself by the end of the race.
Jesus
As a Red Bull and McLaren fan, wow, that one didn't work well for you, did it?
No. But it was.
I'm guessing you had to hide the knives.
It was nice. It was nice to see Ferrari.
Maybe I'm also slightly biased because Leclerc's my teammate in my F1 career, so maybe that's why I'm liking seeing him do well. But
I mean, he hasn't.
He drove a good race, and his defense against Verstappen was superb.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
The thinking he had to deliberately, he actually let Max pass out of turn 1 because he knew the DRS into 4 would be more useful.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
There's actually some on board. Which, let's take a second. How great are those helmet cams? Now.
The helmet cams are good. The only downside is the glare. They're not entirely crystal clear.
It's because they're looking through like the visor and everything into. That's the problem there.
But I imagine if we'd have to wait till we're in a day race, because you've got all the lights, you've got the lights from the dashboard and everything like that. I think that's what's obscuring it really.
Yeah.
Is the clarity of that is the helmet cams are very interesting.
Oh, they have some great onboard during that battle from Leclerc. It was showing he was actually holding 7th gear down the main straight in order to let Max through, but then he could have, I say, in order to be in a good position to make sure he got the DRS for turn 4. So it was very clever driving, very good driving from him.
He's got, to be honest, he's got good racecraft. His driving style is good. It's just a bit of a shame that he's had some shit luck. I mean, it was 2019 he won was it 2019 he won Monza?
Something like that. It's a while ago now.
It hasn't. What did the stat say that it hadn't been a Ferrari 1-2 at Bahrain since when? Was it 2016?
It was a while ago. Something like that, yeah.
And he also has a stat now, does Leclerc, of being the first monogas driver to currently lead the World Championship.
Yeah.
Because technically he is. He's leading the World Championship.
Okay, yeah. That's the same as me saying Haas are currently 3rd. I mean, we're one race in, don't read great details into it, but...
No, I know, but it was a stat that, it's just one of the stats that's...
It's almost as interesting as... Do you not hear the stat about Spanish winners? F1 race winners? There's been one.
Alonso?
Yeah. He's the only Spaniard ever to win, so if Sainz can hook one up, he'll join a very exclusive club at that point.
Yeah.
I think he might be the only... He's definitely the only Spaniard to win a race. As a result, probably the only one to win a championship.
In other news, Hulkenberg's still on standby for Saudi as well, just in case.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see Seb. It'd be nice to see Vettel come back for that.
To get Inspector Seb back.
Yeah. I mean, did you see any of the... I know we're skipping here, but did you see any of the, when they were talking?
I did, yeah.
To Russell.
I did. I watched a bit of the cool down just to try and see if I can get an idea of what exactly happened, what we'd seen.
I mean, it was weird.
That's sort of what I want to make. How good was it to see Bottas out-qualify Russell in the Alpha?
Yeah.
I mean, he very nearly finished ahead of him as well, which would have been the ultimate sweet.
Yeah. But did you see I don't know if you saw the video circling as well of Hamilton pulls up next to Bottas and sticks his hand up at him? He's still got respect for Bottas, but I just kind of hope that Hamilton and Mercedes don't mould George into a Bottas, because it'll be an absolute fucking shame for him.
I don't think they will, because I think they realise that will give them one big problem, and it's in the fact that it was almost it's a different time now to when it was, because when they did that with Bottas, Hamilton was there, Hamilton was the number one. We've got to think Hamilton's on the back end of his career now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's 38, isn't he? You've got to think he's not got another 15 years in this sport, really.
No.
So they've got to start thinking about who's going to be next. And that's where Russell comes in. But as you say, they're going to need to give him the space. If they make him a lapdog, then they'll struggle to get him up to speed when they need him.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's what you don't want to see. I mean, I noticed, yes, me and you are not the both biggest fans of Hamilton, we know this. But I noticed that he's asked F1 to basically drop that Sir Lewis Hamilton, even though he is that, he wants to be dropped that, and they don't want is it Lebastian or whatever it is?
He's changed his surname?
Yeah, they don't want him to. He doesn't want them to use that. They want him to still use Hamilton and not his mother's name, apparently. But I get why. But I don't know why he's done it. But I know of it. It's just... I mean, the gap... I mean, even Carlos, Sainz, he drove the nuts off that car. I mean, he was he was 5.5 seconds off Leclerc anyways.
Yeah.
I'm just going back through the standings and the times. There was no way Hamilton could catch Sainz even if he wanted to.
Until we had the set of circumstances we had.
Right. So, in terms of the fastest lap, right?
Yeah.
Did you see it flash up?
Can't recall ever doing it. I recall because you still get the purple marker on the timings board to the side of you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm sure.
Because Perez got it in the end, didn't he?
No, Leclerc nicked it. But because I saw it go across on Perez's name.
Yeah, I remember seeing Perez being in.
But then Crofty said about Leclerc having it. Which was a little bit weird because I saw the Perez thing come across and then Crofty saying Charles Leclerc's just set the fastest lap. And it didn't. The graphic didn't go across Leclerc's name.
Well, they have changed quite a few of the graphics this year, haven't they? Some for the better, some I'm not so sure about.
No, they're a bit slow updating shit as well, by the sounds of this. But that's a problem with the F1 website. It doesn't actually give you fastest laps for being fastest laps. It's just telling you.
You just got to figure it out.
Because apparently Perez did a 1:36.089.
That doesn't sound that quick when you consider they qualified. Was it in the 31s or the 30s in the end?
Where
I know race fuel loads and that make a difference, but
then Sainz did a 135.740. Max did a 135.440, and Leclerc. This is what I don't understand. Why are they showing this? Because Leclerc did a 134.570. And why are they showing Why are they showing Leclerc as only doing 51 when the rest?
I'm not looking at the same table you are, so I can't.
Oh. Yeah, that's weird.
That's the point. That's the point we kind of got to mention. And some of the reliability wise.
Yeah.
Apart from. Apparently, the Red Bulls, and they reckon it might have been a Gasly's car to do with the fuel pump.
Yeah, so the Red
Which
Bulls.
that's not actually a that's an FIA supplied part.
Yes, it's constructed in Italy, and that if they're having issues, I'm wondering if the teams are like, we better check out fuel pumps.
Because that's the one thing. Because there's a couple of points I didn't know they dropped the qualifying tyre rule till we got to qualifying.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That was never publicised anywhere.
No.
And also, they swapped to using E10 fuel. Which is something anybody who drives a road car will know all too well about, because we've been dealing with that one for the last year.
Yeah, which is a little bit weird.
Now mine's a diesel, so I don't have the same issues. But
but yeah, what they were saying with Gasly's car was apparently that the fuel pump had got that hot. That's what caused it. That's what caused the ignition.
It managed to ignite the fuel.
Yeah. Somehow it had managed to it got that hot and it ignited the fuel. And it was like, and the weird thing was, that wasn't far, and even Brundle mentioned it, that wasn't far from where Grosjean had his fiery crash.
Yeah.
But I did. You sure it was going back to something with about the Haas, was it? Was it practice, or was it actually just pre-season testing?
Well, it was one of the practice, because Haas actually got... No, it was one of the practice, because what it was, because Haas got given an extra hour, didn't they?
Right.
On the practice sessions, he did it in that period. Haas, because they missed part of day one because their cars hadn't arrived, got given an extra hour on the back of both.
It's weird because they're actually... I kind of don't get this, right? On the actual listings, right, you've got Williams Mercedes, yeah? Alpine Renault. I know this is the engine suppliers, but it's like McLaren, Mercedes, Haas, Ferrari, Alpha Tauri, Red Bull Powertrain, and Aston Martin, Armco, Mercedes. Wow, that's a fucking mouthful. Oh yeah, because Armco, they got them as the main sponsor, didn't they?
Yeah.
And who supplies the crash barriers? It's Armco that supplies all the crash barriers to the F1 courses. Well, and racetracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the times. Obviously, we are jumping back, but for who do you want to know qualifying time wise? Bottas or?
I didn't need to know a time. I didn't.
Yeah, there was between. I'll let you work this one out. It was 130.6 for Max, 130.558 for Leclerc.
Not far off.
For Leclerc, yeah. And Sainz was basically Max was a Red Bull in a Ferrari sandwich with Perez.
Yeah. Yeah, and then.
So going on to Red Bull, what a fucking shocker! I'm not pissed about. I'm not pissed about it. It's a first race. It's just a little bit gutting because it's like the cars sound very fucking fragile. Because.
Well, yeah, because they reckon now, don't they? Because Max's steering issues.
It's when it got dropped.
Can he damage the track rod when he dropped off the jacks? Now, I was going to bring that up because obviously we've gone to the bigger wheels this year, and bigger wheels mean smaller sidewalls on the tyres.
Yeah.
Now, is that something they're going to have to watch a little bit more, that maybe these tyres can't absorb the same abuse? I mean, cars are going to start hitting curbs and bending suspension parts. That could give us...
Well, yeah. Have you noticed they weren't even riding the curbs as much?
No, well, they can't now. The way the cars are set up, they really cannot.
Yeah. The cars just seemed so fragile, especially if they like I say, they dropped it off a jack and it screwed his power steering up.
Yeah. I reckon he bent like a track rod or bent a part of the suspension, which is what caused the problems.
And then he had the fuel. See, I'm not listening to the conspiracy theories. You know, people were saying, "Oh, well, he ran out of fuel." It's like, if he's got fuel pump problems, of course he's gonna have fuel issues. But I doubt they'll have underloaded that car. They don't want the FIA on them already.
Yeah.
But did you see the grid walk as well? Mine's grid walk.
I did, yes, I did.
It was a
first one of the year.
Bit of a kerfuffle, though, wasn't it?
And he managed to get out of the way early. His first time walking into his own cameraman. Did he manage to fall over each other?
Yeah, well, that grid looked fucking packed.
Of course it was, because out there it's all the rich and...
Oh, there was a few people that he knew, and obviously there was I don't want to say in case it's wrong, but was it a prince, king, the ruler of Bahrain,
yeah.
Anyways.
But they messed up his titles, didn't they? Because they put across the bottom on the screen his name, and then they did somebody else and put his name as well. I think at one point he ended up talking to that new FIA president, didn't he? And I think
did end up talking to Ben.
Your good friend on Twitter.
And it just, I don't know. I thought they were supposed to be stopping the flyovers.
Yeah, but it's a Middle East country, innit? They fly by their own rules.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It was it's an Emirates A320. It's probably the one on the one that they developed it on biofuel. It's probably one that was the biofuel development one.
Yeah.
So that's fair enough. If it's biofuel, then they'll allow it because it's supposed to be, carbon friendly.
Yeah.
But I feel sorry for Perez. I honestly feel sorry for Perez.
Oh, he was so close, wasn't he? He knew the kind of problem they were just trying to coax it to the end, and literally the first corner of the last lap, it locks the back axle.
See, was it the engines? Did the engine seize, or? But apparently, because what?
Well, the engine. I don't think the engine physically seized, but I think the fuel pump had issues, and when the engine cut, it obviously locked the gearbox and locked the back axle.
And sent him spinning.
Now, the unfortunate bit was the fact that Hamilton didn't collect him on the way round, but.
And managed to get a podium out of it.
Yeah.
But it's just. It was a good race. It was an okay race, but I don't want to call it boring. But it was, apart from obviously the fire and then the safety car coming out and things, the Max and Leclerc battle. There wasn't a lot of what they had said of, it would allow for closer racing. There wasn't a lot of that. I didn't think.
Mm.
I don't know what you thought.
Oh, actually, I disagree with you. I think we did get... The cars were obviously able to follow better than previous years.
Mm.
And you do have... I mean, we had Schumacher's little spin on lap 1.
Yeah.
Fantastic piece of control to collect it. We had... Now, I want to put... I was going to bring some near the end, but take a moment to congratulate Zhao. He had some cracking racing.
He had some good battles. I will give it that.
And to bring it home in the points on your first ever race, I think he's quite literally perfect. I think you can't ask for a lot more from a guy.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, it's 1 point and there's some luck involved, but to bring it home in one piece in the points, 2 Alfa Romeo scored points.
Yeah.
That's the backwards thing. 2 Alfa Romeo scored points. McLaren and Red Bull didn't.
And unfortunately, only one Haas did. Mick was...
Yeah, Mick just missed out, didn't he? Come 11th.
He was so close.
Yeah, but I must admit, I voted for K-Mag for driver of the day. I wasn't disappointed when they said Leclerc got it, but I voted for K-Mag because I thought he literally put such a great performance in.
Do you know who I voted for?
Go on.
Bottas.
Fair enough, good shout. But I mean, I can see now. I mean, if that Haas stays there and K-Mag keeps doing that, he could almost do what Perez used to do.
Yeah.
Knock around 4th or 5th. We used to do it in the racing point.
Mm.
And then if the guys up front manage to fall over each other,
yeah,
there's a potential podium or win available there. You know, stupider things have happened. Like I say, that was always Perez's great trick, wasn't it, to finish 4th, 5th. But then when things went wrong in front of him, boom, there's a 2nd or there's a 3rd or, say, the Bahrain outer loop, there's a win.
Yeah. Wasn't it? Where did he come in? Azerbaijan.
I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Last year. Because did he not win? Did he not win Baku because Hamilton fucked it? And obviously Max, Max was out.
He won Azerbaijan because Max's tyre exploded, then Hamilton forgot the first corner existed.
Yeah. That's what I mean, he picked
Claims
it up.
Yeah, but like I say, he's in the Red Bull. When he was in the Racing Point, to me, was more when he used to just do it so. It used to be so. This is why I used to big him up into the Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
Because his ability just to be the next car.
Yeah.
I mean, back then it was a 2-horse race. It was the Merc. Well, it was the Mercs and it was one Red Bull because Albon, to me, never had the ability, and unfortunately his return back to Williams didn't exactly do a lot to change my opinion of that.
It could, like I said, it could all change, but
it could. I can't say there's been a big difference at Jeddah because we've had too short of a gap in between.
I'm still.
I also think the bouncing issue is going to still be a thing for Merc because it's another fast circuit.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get our first look at the new. We'll get our first new look at the revised Australia.
Well, I'm assuming you've seen those videos on YouTube,
so
we've seen a good example of the layout. I'm still 50-50. I liked Australia. I know you didn't. I really didn't mind the Australian circuit, probably because it was always the first race on the games. It's probably one I've done more miles on than a lot of others, and as a result, I used to be able to hook. As long as I didn't get it wrong, it was the first corner after the chicane, it was about turn 6.
Which is the fuck up one that used to get me an arm.
Yeah. It was either that or it was just into the third DRS. It was just into the third DRS zone. That was where we had that massive accident where I went under a car that time.
Yeah.
Was it you took a car out and it bounced up in the air and I went under it?
Yeah. But it's It's going to be an interesting one, but it's a case of we can't make any predictions this season of who's going to win this championship because of the way things have been so far. I know we've only had one race, but the the competition is at the moment is anybody's right now.
Well, if I say anybody's, I'd say there's, as it stands to me, there's 3, potentially 4 cars in it. Really.
Ferrari, Red Bull if they get the reliability sorted out, Haas, Mercedes. And
No, I wouldn't have said Haas.
Really?
I don't think they're in time for a chapter. As much as I'd love to think it, I don't. I think the amount of things that would have to happen to give a Haas a championship, while it may be mathematically possible, to me, say it's Red Bull, Ferrari, Merc, and I honestly believe I'd put Alfa ahead of Haas. I think Alfa would stand a better chance.
Alfa Romeo or Alfa Tauri?
Romeo. So when I say Alfa, I'm always referring to Romeo, just because I'm a car guy and you just refer to them as Alfas.
But we have Alfa Tauri in there.
We have Alfa Tauri, yes. To me, Alfa Romeo, if nothing else, Bottas' experience.
Well, you got to think.
You know, he's come from a top team. He's got a lot of years. I know K-Mag's not exactly new to this.
Neither's Alonso, neither's Vettel. But it's just a shame that Vettel got struck down with COVID and unfortunately had to miss it. And I mean, it's kind of
well look how Danny Rick did with all the practice.
Yeah, he did, and then I wonder if that's why he was a bit shocking at Bahrain.
Possibly. But you've also got to give credit to Hulkenberg there to get a phone call, and was it the Wednesday?
Yeah.
You're racing this weekend, mate. Get over here.
Super sub.
Yeah, freaking hell.
Where else was it? There was somewhere else. He was there within an hour. Was it Monaco? Didn't he come from Monaco?
No, did he not? Did he not? He did Hungary for Racing Point instead of Perez, didn't he?
Yeah. But he basically...
Because that was one of the big things. Because Perez, that last year in Racing Point, had to miss 2 races because of COVID. He still came 4th in the championship.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about the consistency thing. That, to me, is what proved it, that he managed to miss 2 races. Had 1 win, and still managed to come 4th in the championship, because pretty much every other finish was a 4th, a 5th, a 3rd.
Yeah.
You know, consistency. And in a lot of ways, that's more important than spectacular wins, because if you win half your races and crash out, the other guy comes 2nd in every race, he's probably going to beat you.
Yeah, but unfortunately there was not a lot he could do for the spectacular...
No, it was one of those.
You know, the spectacular, not crash, but spectacular spin.
Pirouette.
But I do wonder...
You got any...
I do wonder, though, if that is going to be a case of will the FIA literally look at everybody's car now?
Will the teams force them to? The teams might pull that one out from under them, sort of thing.
I reckon the FIA will investigate. The FIA will have to investigate that, because one caught fire and 2 cars, 2 cars in the same fucking team had
failed
because of a fuel pump that was made by something that they had approved.
Which was because a fuel pump's not a part the teams make; it's a universal part. Every team uses that same fuel pump.
Yeah, exactly. So are we going to see other people have these fuel issues? So the FIA might have to look into it.
Possibly, we don't. At this point, we can't tell from here, but we'll have to say. Other than that, the reliability-wise, the cars actually, I was surprised we had no real big incidents and no I don't think we even really had anybody. Did we have a single front wing changed? I don't think we did.
No.
If we ever manage a race and say that, something's gone really weird.
Well, we'll have to wait and see when the game releases. But
Well, when we're all driving like Hamilton on hard tyres.
Jesus.
That thing looked undrivable.
It looked bad.
Oh, aye.
It really did. I mean, he must have had a sore neck. Because I imagine that effect though, like, you know, doing that all the time would, you know, make yourself look like a fucking nodding dog with a bit of force.
I'm a heavy metal fan. We do it by choice.
Aye, but I bet you have a song. I bet you do. You know, you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
it.
Yeah, you can do, definitely. And they deliberately do exercises on the necks, don't they? Because even before that, some of the heavier races, you know, you're pulling 4 or 5G and your neck's holding up your head plus the weight of the helmet and everything.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy being an F1 driver, believe it or not.
I bet it is.
Or else we'd all have had to go.
It's just. I'm not gonna really say if you got any predictions for.
Jeddah. I was about to ask you that. Actually, have you got any wild predictions for Jeddah?
Honestly, I'm just gonna go with Leclerc. Sainz, Verstappen, and Perez.
Right.
I'm only gonna have to go for them.
Oh, yeah. All I've got through my head right now is all I can hear is Crossy's voice going, and it's a Haas 1-2 in amazing. But no, I think you're right. I think Ferrari have currently got the high ground. Now, if a Red Bull car can hold together, I think I'd probably go Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Perez.
That's what I reckon. If they can sort the reliability issues out.
Then maybe Bottas 5th.
Alright, okay. So you completely knock the Mercs out then?
Well, I just think the bouncing is still going to be an issue because it's another fast circuit.
Yeah, but Russell's car didn't seem to suffer with it as much. It's there, but his car didn't seem to suffer as much as Hamilton.
And even if they do get that mostly sorted, I don't think the Mercs got the speed of the Ferrari this year.
I mean,
Ferrari power unit seems to really just be hooked up together. Just seems to be really well done.
I mean, the one race that will be interesting this season, I mean, is gonna be Miami is gonna be one of them mixed bags because it's gonna be a case of what the hell.
I'm not sure how Miami's gonna go.
No,
I want it to work, but I'm reserving a lot of judgment.
Oh yeah, but I just mean in terms of anybody who's got quite a quick. I know they've all got the same engines to a degree. But like, could that be Ferrari's own sticking point? You know, we'll know how Ferrari perform if they can win. If they go ahead and win Monza. If the Ferrari bounce back, and you know, if the Ferrari end up winning Monza, I mean, Monaco's going to be a fucking interesting track with them cars. And on that note, Monaco and Spa didn't renew their contract with F1 at this point.
Yeah, I saw you.
That's what I believe. Monaco and Spa have only got this year left and haven't renewed a contract at this point. It'll be a shame to take Spa out because Spa's one of my favourite tracks. I like Spa.
I don't think they will. I think the FIA are trying to send a bit of a threat to some circuits because they're what was I going to say? They're at the limit of how many races we can have in a season. There's other tracks that would like races, so they're having to send a message to people that don't think your place is guaranteed.
Wrong time to bring this up, but Russia.
Well, that's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Russia's lost it. Russia's lost their chance of having St. Petersburg or whatever it was. They've lost that chance.
You never know. They might.
No.
In the future, we might be back there. If there's big changes in Russia, which there would need to be, don't rule out a Russian race in the future. I'm not talking this year. I'm not talking next year.
Oh, you're gonna be.
I'm talking a good few years down the road.
You're gonna be 2, 3, possibly 4 years down the line.
I'm thinking because was it Bahrain have signed a contract till 2036? So at that point, you got to think F1 management obviously have the belief that there's a lot of life left in Formula One yet.
Well, there's sort of speculation we're going back to Qatar.
Yeah, that one's possible.
Well, that's what there's the speculation being Qatar filling Russia's space this year. They're just sort of figuring out how to jiggle it into the calendar and stuff. Because of where...
Yeah.
Because you've got to think it's going to be a weird one for them if... Because obviously they've got to go from... Because Russia's September. Or Russia would have been September. So they've got to go from... Oh, they haven't. Have they actually not? Have they put it on then? Guessing they've not updated this yet. Is it September?
Why is that still showing Russia?
No, it's not showing.
Check the list. Check the list on my Twitter. If you're really stuck, the list on my Twitter, I think, should have it.
Yeah, 1 second.
I'm looking for it now. Russia was September 25th, my mother's birthday.
So Russia was September 25th.
Yes. Between Italy and Singapore. So to be fair, another European one wouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, they've not.
Because they're in Italy the time before.
Yeah, they've not updated this.
Well, that list I've got probably hasn't been.
Yeah, the list here hasn't been updated. Because, yeah, it goes from round 16 to 17, which would be Italy to then Singapore, which hasn't obviously been updated because the season's ending early this year, David.
It has to because of the World Cup.
Yeah, 20th.
Yeah, 20th November, day after my birthday. Yeah, it's because it's to do with the World Cup, innit? They've had to end it. Because somebody in their wise mind thinks that holding a World Cup in the middle of fucking East is a good idea.
Well, there was speculation. I know we're speculating, but there's apparently there's been we might not even get Jeddah. Because apparently there has been... You know what happened last year when there were certain attacks around Jeddah? It's not Russia related, this is something out there. Apparently there was missiles or something.
I can't recall, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
I mean, I think we're going to get Jeddah because it's happening in like 3 days at the time of recording this.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But they haven't come out with any news saying that it has been cancelled or anything like that. So it's not going to be bad. Is there anything you want to add?
No, I think I've got, like, wait a second to praise Zhao as the 1 year guy doing well. Said amazing grid. Have we got the best year for liveries we've had? I know we covered this in the pre-season, but let's be honest, things like the side podless Merc, we didn't know were coming when we did that.
And we didn't know that Google were actually going to sponsor. That were actually.
Oh yeah, the McLarens were going to do with chrome wheels.
Yes. And we're not talking.
That was a terrible pun, but I like that.
Yeah, we weren't talking. For people that probably don't understand what the hell we're on about.
I would think most people listening to this are probably F1 fans and probably get it. I don't think.
No, but if there is anybody new, I mean.
Yeah.
They're actually in. It was a case of a certain company, which I can't mention because my phone will activate. They have sponsored. Basically, Chrome have sponsored, or let's say G Chrome have sponsored McLaren.
You mean Gary Crow?
Funny. I can't say it because it activates my phone. And if you know what their colours are, the red, the yellow, the green and the blue, well, McLaren have them as outer wheels. It looks weird. I mean, the only thing we did hear from Alan was him sending that picture of that bloody tractor. Seriously. If somebody could mod that into Farm Sim, I would have it. Seriously. Yeah, no. Closing remarks from me. Yeah, Zhao impressed me. As long as he doesn't do a Yuki and completely screw himself. I did watch the slight. Was it the grid walk where Martin grabbed him and he was saying, oh, he'd been asking Bottas for a lot of questions and Bottas had been.
I can't recall that bit, but
I can't remember if it was during the grid walk or if it was sort of before or after. But he had mentioned that, you know, he'd been speaking to Bottas and if he had questions and stuff, and then Bottas was, you know, sort of sharing the knowledge with him, which is fair play.
Yeah, that's the joy of owning an experienced teammate.
Yeah. Whereas if you look at the likes of Aston Martin, I don't really think Stroll and Vettel get on that well.
I don't know. I don't tend to read a lot into the off the racetrack stuff just because it doesn't interest me.
But you know, it's just going to be a case of let's see what happens at Jeddah. Let's see how Ferrari perform. Let's see how Red Bull come back, if they come back. Let's hope McLaren bounce back, because it'd be nice for McLaren to come back and be as competitive as they were against Ferrari last season.
Oh yeah.
Because it'd be a shame for them to miss out on what has been some pretty good battles. It'd be nice for Alpine as well. Alpine to be up there battling. But
I think before the season started, we quoted saying to get Alpine and Aston Martin more involved. I don't think any of us saw Haas coming.
No.
But we're not going to turn it down.
I mean, I personally think now that Spin has gone and now the K-Mag is there, I think Mick is going to come out I think he's gonna bloom a bit more. Because
hopefully, he's got somebody with a bit of experience to learn off.
Bit of experience and not another rookie. I mean, I didn't mind the look. Didn't mind the look of Haas's car either. I mean, just the white with the red running round.
Yeah, it's a nice. It's not a big difference to last year, but it's not bad. Like I say, livery-wise, I think once Alpine go to their proper livery and not this all-pink one, I do prefer the one that's the blue with just a little bit of pink on it over the.
Yeah, but it's only for the 2 races. It's only for Bahrain and Jeddah that we'll see that.
Yeah, over the French Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Well, it's a race. It's a racing point from France at this point.
Well, yeah, it is. It's just I mean, we'll just have to see what happens with Jeddah. So yeah, we've whittled on long enough. Hopefully Jeddah. Hopefully Alan may be back with us for the next one. If not,
hopefully we'll rejoin us.
If not, it'll be me and David again. And I wonder if there's going to be maybe big accident at Jeddah. Who knows? I've just commentated it there, haven't I? Really?
Yeah, you have.
Well, we're not. It's not going to be a repeat of the 1995 Spa, or was it 1996?
So, to be honest, Jeddah last year, remember Schumacher had that massive shunt during practice.
And then we had the apparent brake test.
Yeah, we had fun that one. Now we're going to do it all again.
Yeah. We'll see. So yeah. Anyways, guys, we're going to end this one. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching YouTube. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitch. All links are in the description. And we shall see you for the next one. So until then.
So long and thanks for all the fish.
Goodbye for now.